like to first just start out by giving my sincere appreciation to both Senator Kane and Ben Rhodes for joining us here today. Thank you for your service both to our country, but also for your inspirational words to the 25 Mandela Washington Fellows that are here today and as they embark on their 6-week journey at the Presidential Precinct. So if everybody can join me one more time to give them both Senator Kane and Ben Rhodes. At the Presidential Precinct, we believe in the power, the transformative power of visionary leaders to create thriving, just, and free societies around the world. And that's why we invest in the next generation of future presidents. I think we're going to have plenty of these in the room, future prime ministers, civil society leaders, and as well as entrepreneurs. And I've had the distinct opportunity to be at the Presidential Precinct since the founding over the past 5 years, and we have hundreds of stories of impact of leaders like yourself, the leaders that are in this room that are making significant impacts in their communities and the world at large. For instance, last year we had a Mandela Washington Fellow from Nigeria whose Bring Our Girls Back initiative contributed and aided to the bringing back of the 82 Chibok girls from Boko Haram. We had a leader recently from Sri Lanka through the International Visitors Leadership Program who is a lawyer who's rewriting the Constitution for Sri Lanka to provide better rights for citizens in his country. And we recently had a leader from the Young Leaders of Americas initiative who is from Cuba, who is an entrepreneur, is starting a social venture to create jobs and opportunities across the country. And at a time when we are engulfed in a 24-hour news cycle of political polarization and conflict, I have, deep hope for the future of humanity thanks to the leaders that are in the room today that we get to work with over the next 6 weeks. You are on the front line of really advancing your countries forward, providing better access to education for leaders in your countries, creating economic opportunities, and promoting human rights and transparent governance. And I once heard that the currency of a nation is only as strong as its leaders. And because of visionary leaders like you, our Mandela Washington Fellows, countries across Africa will not only be stronger, but more vibrant and more prosperous for years to come. And Senator Kane did such a great job talking about the power of place of the Presidential Precinct and the opportunities you'll have over the next 6 weeks to learn from one another and draw an inspiration from the homes of 3 of the founding fathers, the first diplomat, and 2 of the nation's top public universities. But in addition, you'll have an opportunity to join a powerful network. A lot of about what takes place over the next 6 weeks are the connections that you establish with one another, the people that are here in the room that are committed in your success in the future. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that network. And at the Presidential Precinct, we developed our own online network, which essentially, if you'd imagine LinkedIn, a private network that connects leaders all around the world. We now have over 12,500 leaders in this network from over 115 countries, and within that network, all of our young African leaders that are here will have an opportunity to exchange in dialogue, stay connected, access resources and ongoing training opportunities, toolkits to push forward, whether it's you're starting an NGO or rewriting a constitution and connecting with scholars at our sites. So it's a great honor that we invite you to take advantage of this network. Ben talked about the power of youth across Africa. And the African continent, as many of you know, represents 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world. And its youth population, already over 200 million, is predicted to grow by 42% by 2030, leaving many to look toward the continent and Africa's youth as the next generation of leaders that are going to push nations forward, but also in the broader global economy. And all 75 Mandela Washington Fellows that are alum of the Presidential Precinct really represent powerful stories to demonstrate why Africa has such a bright future. And so I invite you to join us as we share a 2-minute film that exemplifies the power of this program and the leaders that we serve.
I instantly kind of relaxed when I got here and I listened to the things that people were talking about. I was like, okay, I'm not alone in this. We all seem to have really big issues in our country, so I'm not an isolated person. And that's one of the big things about, learning and interacting with the other fellows, is realizing that there are other people out there who also are facing these same challenges and who also are looking for answers.
I'm able to apply ideas from UVA, ideas from Monticello, ideas from Morven, ideas from the Highland, as well as from William and Mary. And I really believe that the Presidential Precinct has been able to bring different ideas within this space for me to actually be able to do it, which is pretty amazing.
My name is Jacob Otieno Ouma. I'm 2014 Mandela Washington Fellow alumni, and I did my fellowship in this same place that you're seated today. The Presidential Precinct is a place to be because it will sharpen your leadership skills, it will sharpen your business acumen, and you can't come out of that place the same.
The ability to go back home with a network of other African leaders who come from every corner of our continent has been something so powerful. All of the things I've learned with the Presidential Precinct, I take them back and I get the opportunity to implement them. Something
that I've come to implement back home in Africa, which is PALI, the Pan-African Leadership Incubator. We have gotten to train like 150 aspirants, young people who are looking to vie for political office, and preparing them, and this concept was birthed and polished at the Presidential Precinct.
We can indeed show visible results of how the Presidential Precinct has transformed us from who we were before we came to what Africa is finally becoming.
Welcome to the Presidential Precinct.
Welcome to the Presidential Precinct.